Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We are from Group 3.
My name is Susi Susanti with NPM 222122041.
And my name is Fera and my student's number is 222122047.
And my name is Mufidatul Khoeriyyah with NPM 222122050.
And I am Elis Salinda with NPM 222122072.
My name is Merlina Eramawati with my student's number 222122058.
And we will be presenting about the genre of
Narrating.
And without any further ado, let's just get started.
Fera will present the introduction and types of narrative and recontext.
The genre of narrating. Narrating is a type of genre in writing that focuses on describing past happening or event. The main purpose of narrating is to inform, entertain, and sometimes to educate the readers. It is a way of presenting a story or experience either in the form narrative or recount. There are two types of narrating, narrative and recount. A narrative is a text that suggests telling us a story, and it often contains a moral message, and the purpose is to entertain the readers while educating them. On the other hand, a recount is a text that retells event or experience in the past. It can be used for informing, entertaining, and reflecting. Both narrative and recounts have different structures. Narrative has four structures: orientation, complication, resolution, and coda. And the orientation introduces the characters, the place, and the time. The complication describes the main character's problem, while the resolution describes how they resolve the problem. The coda summarizes the narrative and marks the end. On the other hand, a recount has three structures: orientation, event, and reorientation. The orientation introduces the background of the event, while the event describes the series of events that happen in chronological order. The reorientation, on the other hand, can be summary or evaluative comment. Here are some types of narrative and recount. Narrative such as myth, legend, fables, and adventure stories. And recount such as personal recount, factual recount, imaginative recount, procedural recount, and literary recount.
Susi Susanti, Merlina Eramawati, and Elis Salinda will present the grammatical features.
Grammatical features used in narrating events. Narrating events is a common form of communication, and it requires a specific set of grammatical features to make it effective. In this presentation, we will discuss the most common grammatical features used in the narrating events, including action verb and temporal connectives. Action verb. Action verb are verbs that express physical or mental action. Example: walk, saw, heard, went, collected, caught. Action verb help to create a vivid picture in the reader's mind and make the story more engaging. Adverbs of time. Adverbs of time are adverbs that indicate when an action takes place. For example, yesterday, today, tomorrow, soon, and later. Woke up early in the morning. Meanwhile, the sun had already risen and the birds were quivering outside. Later, I took a shower and got dressed for work. Finally, I grabbed my key and headed out the door. Adverbs of time provide a specific time frame for the events in the story and help to create a sense of urgency or anticipation. Prepositions of place help to create a clear picture of the setting and location of the events in the story.
Recital is recount, typically written in the past tense. As they entered the old house, Tom whispered to his friend, "Do you hear that creaking noise?" Suddenly a voice from upstairs shouted, "Who's there?" They froze in fear, not daring to make a sound. It's just us. It's just us," Tom went back, hoping their voice would carry. And the next, in reflections or evolutions, mental verbs predominate. Bells were ringing, sirens scratching, and people were running everywhere. Maria didn't know what to do next. She thought about her mother and wondered what was in her head.
Narrative often uses action verb metaphorically. For example, the sun was setting behind the mountains, casting a warm cloud across the valley. And also, narrative often uses rhythm and repetition. For example, the clock tick-tock tick again, counting down the second to the painful moment. Then, play with sentence structure is another common feature of narratives. For example, silence, darkness, she sat alone in her room, her heart heavy with sadness.
Now I will show you an example of narrative text and recount text. Narrating is a crucial genre in writing that presents past happenings or events in a way that informs, entertains, and educates the readers. It can be in the form of a narrative or a recount with different structures and types. A narrative has four structures: orientation, complication, resolution, and coda, and a recount text has three structures: orientation, events, and reorientation. Grammatical features also play an important role in narrating, and they are used to create particular effects. The grammatical features in the genre of narrating are sequencing people and events in time and space, recount typically written in the past tense in reflection or evaluation, mental verb predominate, and then narrative often use action verb metaphorically. Narrative often use rhythm and repetition, and lastly, play with sentence structure is another common feature of narrative.
Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.